Part of the reasons we choose to tell Children of Men in very fluid long takes was to take advantage of the element of real time.
They've taken a very distinctive visual style with this movie, and they're doing incredibly long takes that take an awful lot of orchestration. What it means is in the big action sequences, we will rehearse for a very long time before shooting because an awful lot of elements have to come together, and then Alfonso's been very brave and gone for it in a one take.
Alfonso's committed to a very specific style making this movie, and what he's done is he's shooting it with what will be, in the end, a very limited amount of cuts. These scenes are all incredibly choreographed.
What we should do first is do a mock-up of the camera move very quickly. Yep. So we start rehearsing and we know where to go.
We took this documentary approach as if you were just following characters with your DV camera in the year 2027. One of the action scenes in the film takes place in a car. And it was just a huge action scene.
You have actors and stuntmen outside the car, you have our actors inside the car, and given that it's a car in an enclosed space, you can't fit a camera crew in a car, and you would have to shoot and then cut and then move the camera. And it was important to Alfonso that we had a full range of vision.
I just knew that I wanted the shot to be like that, and I was willing to compromise and says, well, you know, if we have to go green screen, maybe it's the only way. And he was saying, this is not a green screen movie, are you crazy? This movie has to look raw, it has to look real. You want the interaction of the light that goes through the windscreen and how the shades of the trees around you and the people running around.
Jesus!
So Alfonso and Chivo, Emmanuel Lubezki, the cinematographer, came up with this unbelievable piece of machinery that allowed them to cover this 12 minutes of film basically without a cut.
We're trying to sort this out with the assistant director, the stunt coordinator, and the special effects coordinator to come up with a plan of how we could do this. It was one of those that all the odds were against.
We've put together a sophisticated little rig here that incorporates the Sparrow head from Doggy Cam and 2 power slides, which work together to move the camera in and out, forward, backwards, right and left. And basically, in this configuration, we can put the camera anywhere inside of this moving vehicle and be able to look around 360 out the window and never see any rigging or be bothered by any obstructions. And then built on top of that is where we have our operation station. And there we have the cameraman, the director, focus puller, and myself. Between the 4 of us, we work together to incorporate and make the shot work.
They can film a conversation between 5 people in the interior of a car and cover the entire thing without a cut.
All the stuff that we did in the car took quite a while. It was really sort of exciting to shoot because the camera moves around the vehicle and you never really know where the camera is because of the way it's placed in the middle of the car.
There's those sort of happening around, and it's all contained within this moment and these reactions, which means that, you know, our movements have to be very fluid in terms of what the camera's doing, and so the chairs are all on hinges so we can get out of the way, come back up when we need to be up, and get to the side, get out of the car, get out of the back, you know.
Are they coming back?
Faster!
What's happening? Are they coming back?
I don't know, just go faster!
Huh?
Sort of exciting as an actor to get to take place in something that was as technical as that.
This is something that may never have really been done in this way before, and it's kind of feels like a little bit of a landmark type of shot that we're doing, so it's a lot of pride all around.
I think he knew it would work, but he may have been the only one who knew it would work, and it's extraordinary. And having now seen the whole thing put together, it's really beautiful.
Jesus Christ! Julian! It's the cops. It's the cops!
Today, we're going to blow up the cafe. Clive Owen walks in, gets a coffee, comes out, and we blow up the whole place. We closed off Fleet Street to do so. and we're blowing up crashing vehicles, blowing up windows on vehicles, buses. A bit critical with the timing today.
We wanted to achieve a lot of things with this shot. Set up the universe in an opening that would pretty much tell you what the movie is going to be about. The camera walks out of the coffee shop, you see the streets, and you see that is the future in which you see that technology hasn't developed much, and not only that, the technology that developed is already old and is kind of funky. It's in not a great shape.
He wanted to do it all in one, shot in a documentary fashion, and he said, you know, can we do it? Can we try it? I said, yeah, we can. It's a tricky job to do.
It was a very challenging shot to do. I cannot tell you the logistic nightmare that was in terms of cues, in terms of timing of when you have to release this car so it's going to arrive to this point where the explosion is 3 minutes later.
Everything's got to go off of one vehicle. We're trying to get all the cars outside the caf, right opposite the window, and it's very difficult with the crowd, the extras all crossing, the stunt people crossing, the tuk-tuks, keeping all the cars running, making sure everything gets to its position. So it's difficult with so many motor vehicles. The main thing as well for them to watch is what Clive Owen's doing. Everything's on his walk. As soon as he starts to turn and the camera says everything should be moving. And 5 seconds from that point, everything should be in place.
And that's pretty impressive. And really, I still can't believe it worked, frankly, but it did.
There's an awful lot of pressure when you do very long takes in movies because an awful lot of elements have to come together. But there's something very collaborative about that. It's very exciting. It's like everyone is on their mettle because no one wants to be the one to mess it up.
It was one of the joyous moments during the shoot in which, after months of speculation that we were going to do these shots and how we were going to do these shots, with a lot of forces against us saying that it will never work, and some people actually wishing that it's not going to work, we did the shots that everybody thought that was going to be impossible. It was sweet. It was sweet.